I was weightless in a scene that seemed like ruins. There was a row of gray pillars that were square atop, and it seemed that these pillars on the left side were of some sort of building. And there was a white light that shone from beneath the ground. And I increased in sensitivity, and the air was speckled. And finally, euphoria hit me as I saw a lumpy white pillar. Some things are open to the interpretation and practice of all. Some things need to be closed, except to those who are practiced or developed enough to take part. Some things reference a reality, but are indirect. Some things, although not true, explain the past, bring forth something. What if there's a structure to lessons for us to learn, but it's not explicitly stated, or it's not set up in a way that, oh, this is this number in this category and all that sort of stuff. Oppressed people can unite. Different numbers and things that seem symbolic might not be literal, although they could be, but not how you think they are. More about humanity's religious past will be discovered, and some of it will be very useful. We need to be aware of what can replace religion among the secular movements. The artificial and escapism has unforeseen consequences. People start upon clumsy personal expressions of the path in which they are a part. Even collective groups may misunderstand the end times and political views of their faith. Cures are everywhere, and there are plots against us as individuals and society that can be undone. The future may be upon unpredictable terms rather than the categories listed of old. And the actual heads of the spiritual dispensations will know and be able to judge accordingly their people. Or they will make their statement and it will naturally be sifted out who is really of that path and who, just as Matthew 7:21 says, Lord, Lord. But, they're not doing the will of the Father, or the one who sent Jesus, or, that sort of language. things will be exposed, and people, both contemporary and in reference, hate those who expose the truth, if it's not a truth they want to be upon. People will compile the religious traditions into individual traditions. New Bibles will be made. In any sphere, one of the things we have is the attributes associated with it. More specific references than individual words for the arrangement. Oh, this is the angel of this, and this is the name of this, and this is the name of God, and this is the demon in this, and here are the ranks of the angels and demons, and here are... There's more to it than that. But the right substances and attributes is where that can start. But we, of course, refer to something beyond those things as one works in those spheres. As the Egyptian formulas indicate, it's to be pleasing, it's to identify with the spark or thing according with, you know, like all those A-L, E-L, Y-H, I-H, A-H, you know, those sorts of things. I mean, there's only two spellings, names in the Bible. You know, that's what one becomes. That's what one thinks the world one is living in is. It's of deity. It's in accord with deity. And you become in accord. And what's the word? Zaxamos? Is that the werewolf? Savior God individual that is kind of, you know, kind of like the Jesus myth in some ways. People to hunt identified it with animals that were the predator animals. And so they got into a bestial mode. They tended to refer to their ancestors, you know, like the voodoo hoodoo cults do. You know, because Loa means the people, right? And there were some other things to it, and there might have been survivals, you know, because certainly a lot of Europe tended not to be even majority Christian for centuries after their rulers became Christian. So you knew there would have been a lot of survivals and a lot of stuff. And, you know, that's why so much so-called superstition and all these extra holidays and saints and all this stuff is because, you know, it was easier to control the people under the church if the church didn't fully fight these things, right? Of course, that made it so that the church couldn't hold itself together as one church anymore, but, and then, you know, you have myths related to Aleister Crowley and the sort of stuff that people believe going about, and getting all society, you know, this is, the Sherlock Holmes bit is supposed to be a play at some point, or it's a possible play.